Sometimes you don't need a feel-good message. You need the truth, and the truth will set you free. It'll set you free from habits and patterns and cycles and different things that are producing results. The results are always telling the truth about your patterns and your habits in life. They always are revealing who you really are. And so take a look at your results. If you are not happy with where you're at in whatever area it is, look at the results and then start with the end and go back to, what am I doing that's creating these results I don't like? It's so simple, but yet most of the time we don't want to see it. And then we're around people who won't tell us the truth. Our friends and family, they don't want to hurt our feelings or whatever, so they'll enable us and be like, oh, it's okay, that's just your thing. You're just big boned. And really, you're overeating. Like, at some point, you want that friend to be like, no, you can do better. You can be better. You deserve to have a better life. And so I have a really big problem sometimes with just these feel-good messages all the time. I know sometimes churches, that's all they do is like these feel-good messages, and you walk away feeling good, but then you go back to your old habits and your old patterns and destructive cycles and all of these things. And the thing is, you need to break free. You need freedom from those things. You need to be liberated from the bondages and the chains that hold you back from the life that God has for you. Those are chains holding you back. So it might not feel good to listen to a sermon that tells you like, whoa, you really need to start getting disciplined. You need to have self-control. You need to pray for wisdom. Stop thinking you're right all the time. Like, all of these things nobody really wants to hear, because we all think, oh, I'm right and my way's fine and I don't have a problem. Like, denial's like the biggest thing. There's no issue with me. Like, worry about your own life. Why are you focused on mine? But if you really care about somebody, you really love somebody, you want to tell them, hey, your habits are destroying your life and they're destroying your health. And without your health, you can't be your best self. You can't be sick and feeling lousy and have joint pain and heavy inflammation and everything, and then expect to have a great life. It's very difficult when you don't feel good. So I talk a lot about this because so many people don't want to face the facts. They don't want to face the truth. I didn't for a very long time. I wish somebody would have told me, hey, you can do better. Let me help you. Like a mentor. I would have paid somebody to tell me what to do. That's why trainers are so important, because the breakthrough and the results is on the other side of that push. Like, let's say you're doing a workout or something. The first set's not making the big difference. It's the last few pushes that you're pushing through to get the results. It's so uncomfortable, and if the trainer's not there, chances are I'm not pushing those last two. I'm like, oh, okay, that's enough. I stop. But the trainer will help you push. No, give me 3 more. Give me 5 more. Give me 2 more. Because they understand that principle, that it is in the tearing down, in the rebuilding of something, that produces what you're looking for. That's what you want. And then you want that training. That's what connects us to that person and say, this person really helped me because they helped you get the results you wanted. It wasn't the person who said, you know what, just do what you can. Just stop. That's fine. Don't want you to, overdo it or whatever. Trainers also know if you have the ability to do it. They're not going to push you right away if you are, aren't in the physical position to do it. But they're going to build you up to that. And then when they know that, hey, you can handle it, they're going to push you to do it, because that's what you want. You want the results on the other side. It's always on the other side. And you need somebody to push you through that pain and push you through to get those results. So get honest with yourself. Because a lot of people won't be honest for you. They're not going to tell you. You need to get honest with yourself and say, man, it's funny because I was just looking at photos of me from like a year or 2 ago, and I said, wow, when I started working out, it was hard to get my legs up. It was heavy. It felt so heavy just to walk. And I told my husband, I remember telling him, it feels like I have cement in my legs. Like, it's so heavy. But at the time, I didn't think they were that big. And now I look back at those pictures, and yesterday my son was there and I said, man, my legs were huge. And he started laughing. He's like, now you see how giant you were, kind of laughing. But I didn't see it at the time until I looked back, and I thought, no wonder it hurt. My knees and my feet were always sore because the proportion of my thighs was just too heavy. It hurt. It was painful to just walk, not let alone run. So oftentimes we don't want to see it, or people around us won't tell you, hey, you look really great and feel great if you just toned up and tightened up and got in shape. Like, that would have been such a big blessing for me if somebody would have just told me that and not just been like, oh, you look great. And, like, stop lying to me. I mean, yeah, I'm probably fine, but I needed someone to tell me so I could have that breakthrough. I wanted breakthrough, and that's what we should want in life, is we want to go. God says he takes you from glory to glory. That means you go from winning to winning. And so you need to go from breakthrough to breakthrough. You got to pass those tests. Each test is a little bit different depending on what it is that you're going through. But discipline is going to be a key thing. You have to push yourself and discipline yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself to be willing to make a change. Otherwise, you're just going to experience the same thing over and over and really just go backwards, because if you don't get things in order and you don't handle things, then just that automated you just takes over, and that's what's producing the results that you don't want. Remember, the results are telling the truth about your habits and your patterns. You can say whatever you want to say to justify it, but your results always tell the truth.